obviously. Yeah, great. So my name is Oliver, and I'm building the Graymatter client together with my teammates. And like Graymatter is our implementation name, as matter as opposed to paper, so we have the gray paper and we are doing Graymatter. I think that is very fitting. But our team name is JamBrains. Yeah, on the next slide we have our team. So we are 4 people. We all are parity, but we are doing a non-parity implementation basically. Yeah, like we probably know Kian, probably Cisco, Matej, and me. You can all find us here. Yeah, feel free to chat us up. And yeah, so for my slides, I mean, pretty much last minute, but it's more about the tech, not so much about our overall strategy. So the two interesting parts that are like not really gray paper, but are probably relevant for a node. In our case, so you see the node in the center, and it spawns like an SSH server. And this SSH server can then be used as a terminal UI. I mean, I will show this as well. But yeah, we thought about that. You probably want a way to interact with your node. You know, normally a node just prints a ton of logs, and then you're like, okay, what does it mean? Like as an operator, you don't really know. So we thought if you have like a UI, then it kind of makes it obvious. Yeah, and I will show that later. And we also played around with tracing, with OpenTelemetry. There's like an additional slide on that. But yeah, that's like these 2 components. Otherwise, we currently just have like 2 database implementations, one for in-memory, one for disk. But there's no additional slide on this. Okay, so that's how our UI here looks like. I mean, I can jump into it. Yeah, I will jump into it at the next slide. But you can connect to it normally if the node is running just with a standard SSH command. Like it has to do some additional flags, but it's really like you would SSH into any of your remote servers. And yeah, there's like 3 different tabs. I think I will just show that on my screen. Okay. So let's see, does the terminal work? Yes. Yeah, so when I try to start a node with one hand, so that's how we would, let me see, yeah, you can really see this. So it says gm testnet -- dev peers 6, that would start it with 6, like a network size of 6 basically, and dev account 0, that would be our own account ID. And if I start that, it's going to print a ton of errors because the other peers are offline. But let's see if I can start the terminal. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a lot. So if I run just TUI, then it should actually attach to this node. Yeah. So it prints in the top like our version, then the public key, Alice in this case, and the port where it's running, some help menu. And if I press the A key, then it's like authoring blocks. Like, well, that looks pretty boring right now, but you can see the final and best up there going up whenever I press. Yeah, otherwise we have like a very minimal built-in block explorer here. I mean, like block explorer is an overstatement, but you can inspect all of the blocks that were offered basically. And yeah, like it can either follow the latest one, or you can like go back. And on the network tab, you can just inspect the other peers that you're currently connected to. Yeah, like 5 peers in this minimal setup. Yeah, and I'm gonna go back to the slides. First stop this. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, so for this to work, we have some simplifications currently that are like, for example, we only have UP0 and C128 implemented. That's just to get our network stack started and see that it's like kind of the abstractions work out. So I mean, I guess most of you know what it means, but it's for announcing that you got a new block like UP0, and C128 is for downloading blocks from other nodes. Then we have the simplification that there are no forks. Now, I mean, Safro shouldn't make any forks, but due to network issues, of course, you can still end up in a situation where you have a fork. we just have the simplification that won't happen now. We also instantly finalize blocks because we only kind of download finalized blocks. That's, well, another simplification, but otherwise we would have to inevitably deal with forks. And it doesn't persist, so you just restart the node and it syncs from scratch again. Yeah. So now I can also try to start this with like multiple nodes, but here's how that would look like. So our setup with 6 nodes. This is like a screenshot of a Tmax window, and it in the top it always has the UI, and then in the bottom it has like a small window for the logs of the node, and it just splits the window so that it's running like 6 times. You can see if I can get it to work. So we have some Python command to start that, and it should then start the node like 6 times. Yeah, okay. So, and when I now go to the top left node, let me see if I can author a block. Yeah, and the other ones they're like kind of receiving it. I mean, in a normal network, you would of course not author it, you know, by press of a button, but you would do it time-based. But okay, you can assume this just advances time. And when I now go to the block tab of one node and like author a different one, then yeah, kind of you can see that the blocks get shown on the first node. And I should also be able to stop that node. Like now it has been like it has died here. But when I restart it, then it should sync up again. And let me see if it wants to. Oh, started the wrong thing. Then it should start up again. Live demos are always tricky. Okay, I guess I was the wrong node. Yeah, well, anyway, so in theory, you can restart it and it syncs up again. But okay, let me stop that. Great. Then when I stop it, it just kills all the nodes and that's it. Yeah. Then for our tracing, like this is mostly just testing out that like how to operate, how to use this OpenTelemetry standard. I use some kind of template for the Docker containers, like some Tempo or Grafana or whatever. I'm not so sure about this, but I think this is like the Grafana thing. I think Tempo is also related to this, but I just run the Docker compose, and it kind of does all the things it needs to do. It has like 6 or 7 containers in there, and then you can, for example, this is when it fetches a block. The first thing it does, yeah, it like first fetches the first block, then the second one. I think this is for a request that fetches like 4 blocks. So it always fetches them here, then it encodes the response, and then it sends the response. And as seen there, like the encoding takes quite a while, and then the sending also a bit. Yeah, I think that will be helpful later on to like investigate why our node is fast or slow. Yeah, good. Otherwise, I mean, most of you know this Docs Chain website, but you know, sometimes I talk to people and they don't know it. So it contains all kinds of articles about different topics, and some things that are not specified in the Graymatter are in there, which are like necessary for testnet setup. Yeah. Cool. So our socials are here, and yeah, feel free to ask any questions. No questions is also fine, I guess.
There's one over here. There's one over here.
The TUI interface, is it documented on Jamchain's website? Can I go look at how to use it potentially?
No, not really, because it's kind of like a custom thing that we just tried out to see if it makes sense. But it's in a sense that you know, you can normally do a terminal UI directly in your node, basically, so that it directly like renders in the terminal. But like we thought, okay, maybe you want to access it from somewhere remotely, and then I mean you probably want something like SSH. Yeah, so we thought it's like two things in one with that. Yeah, but it's like it's a custom thing. Basically, the node runs this SSH server and communicates with it internally. But this is nothing that you could really replicate or reuse for another one. But I mean, it's kind of a demo to show that maybe we should have something like this if it makes sense. Like maybe we can even put some light block explorer in there where you can look at specific services and so on. Yeah.
Thank you.
I like how you created the little block explorer in the command line interface. That's a neat little idea.
Yeah. Maybe Aaron's here. I didn't see her yet, but like she was working with the Gem Explorer or like Block Explorer for that, and yeah, I mean, I guess until we have something proper, we can do anything you want.
No, not a question, but like kudos on this TUI idea. I think like it's gonna like some clients are gonna be used more than others, and if an operator has it very easy to interact with the node and do tasks and maintenance, it's gonna like make it a very attractive client. So I don't know, maybe something that could even be like operator experience pushed into the Graymatter in some way, or I don't know, because it's a great thing to have.
Yeah, I mean, Graymatter probably not the right spot, but in general, I agree that, I mean, we try to make it as easy as possible for an operator to understand this, and if they have some graphical window, or I mean, you can also make it via, you expose a local host port and then you connect with your browser or something, so that it's like understandable and you don't have to, like in Polkadot, when you run a node, you just see a bunch of logs and it's like, who's supposed to understand this if you are not a developer? So I think this makes it like easy. Thanks.
Very well.